In this lesson, we'll begin to create the basic shape of the handle for our taser gun. So let's jump back in here. And so we want this handle to be something where it can extend out kind of horizontally, or it can kind of snap down into more of a traditional pistol configuration. So let's start by building a polygon primitive cube, and let's drop it in here. We'll kind of move it over. Let's change some of the parameters here. So let's go ahead on the width. I'm going to take the width down a little bit. Let's take the height and let's actually reduce that a bit. Okay, let's take the depth and we'll increase that. That'll be kind of the length of the handle. So something like that. Let's add some divisions to this. So along the depth, we definitely want some divisions. So I'm going to add maybe 8 divisions or so for now. And then along the width, let's add a couple. So it's up to 3. And then along the height, I'm going to add just a couple, so up to 3. So I got 3 by 3 by 8. Now I want to create the guard here, but I don't want it to be that thick, so let's use our insert edge loop tool to real quickly just drop in something that's maybe 1/3 of the way from here to here. Now let's take those polygons and we'll just extrude those down a bit. So give it a little bit of kind of room for the fingers to go in. Okay, now we could create a division here and extrude off from the side. That would create a corner here. I want it to be a little bit softer, so I'm actually going to take these faces and let's just kind of rotate these a little bit. Kind of move them a little. Let's do the same thing here. Kind of rotate these into X. Maybe move them in a little bit. Let's add another edge loop, kind of right in the middle. And I'm just going to kind of pull that out a little bit. And I'll do the same thing here. Let's maybe rotate this a little bit more. So then instead of coming in from the side, let's use those same faces. And so I'll shift, drag across those. So instead of creating a division and extruding out from the side, we're continuing on with those same faces, but they're sort of angled toward each other. Let's do a bridge. And I'll just reset those settings. And I've got an extra face there selected, so that's why it gave me the error. You want to make sure that you have the same number of faces selected. So I'll make sure I just have 3 here, 3 there. And that allows us to bridge it across. But you can see now it's a continuous line, so it'll help it to be a little bit more curved when we actually smooth this. So if I hit smooth, it'll be a little bit more curved versus just having that corner there. And we can make it, if we want to make it a little bit thicker, we can kind of grab those polygons and just kind of move them up a little bit. We can also add a little bit more shape to it by coming in here and just kind of pulling these down a little bit. We can take these corners and pull them up a little bit if we want to. So we get something like that. Now we might want it to actually also match the shape of this. And so to do that, I'm just going to grab these points and just kind of move those, kind of the same distance away from our round piece here. Give a little bit of a gap there. So something like that. All right. I'm also going to go ahead and take these lines and just the lines at the top, so not all the way around. And I'll go ahead and kind of move those up. I want to make sure that I don't have anything else selected. You can tell by where your manipulator is. If you do, it was down here, so we knew we had some extra lines selected somewhere. Kind of bring that in, and then let's select those, just those 2 points at the top, kind of in keeping with that curve there. All right, now we need a little bit to kind of stick into the slot there. So let's just grab these and we'll extrude those, and I'll just pull them straight out, change that axis, pull them straight out, and that gives us something like that. Okay. All right, we can kind of tighten things up by just adding edge loops. So we want to tighten up this connection piece. If we want to tighten up the guard underneath, we can kind of begin to pull this line out. Now I want to actually only pull it out, only the bottom part. So I'll click on this edge and then shift double click on this one, and that'll just select everything that is between them. So it doesn't select the entire loop. I'll kind of pull that over a little bit. It starts to give you something like that. We can kind of move it back in so it's where we want it to be. We kind of move it up a little bit. I think I do want to have an edge loop right in here though, to kind of tighten things up. All right, so we're starting to get something that looks like the handle and I want to get. Now, we do want to create sort of a grip in here, some grip detail in here and here, and then we also want to have a trigger for this. So let's go ahead and continue on with our handle in the next lesson.